Oh dear, has my microphone been on this whole time? I don't think I've actually said anything yet, but let me mute that real quick. Are we ready to start yet? I think we're ready to start. Let's just start then. Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Pavs, a racing VTuber and an artist, and today we've got a couple of tasks ahead of us. Alright, first order of business. I am doing a community art elected illustration for V because she wanted incentives for the Halloween streamathon, which was a great success, and I offered my hand at art for that, and I think it was a great idea. I'm looking forward a lot to drawing this. So basically the suggestion was to have something very similar to this poster from the OVA of Padlabor, as the basis for it. So the idea is somebody, it's very reminiscent of like those car pinups from like the early or mid 50s, maybe late 90s. That happened a lot. I mean, I imagine they're still produced today, but maybe technology has changed. Maybe war has changed. I don't know. I wasn't really a purveyor of those when they were in their prime due to being born way too early for it. But I did try to take inspiration from that, and I did find this one cool pose which I think we're going to use, because I ran some calculations on this, all right? I've been thinking real hard about this. Because, so Padlabor, right? The idea is that there are mechanized whatchamacallits running around called laborers, and the story follows a police unit that specializes in people who have effectively hijacked these machines to cause chaos. So, the Ingram, also nicknamed Alphonse for this character's personal model, I think her name is Noah? It's about 8 meters, a little bit more than 8 meters tall. So, for V, who I personally had canon as like 180 centimeters, or about like a little over 6 feet, it would be a little bit like this in terms of scale. So not exactly the size of the full head, but definitely enough that sitting on it like this would be fairly comfortable and feasible. It'd be like a very large yoga ball, or maybe one of those coin operated rides, sort of. That on that kind of scale, it'd be maybe like a little bit wider than the hood of a car. Which I think is, again, what I think they were going for with this poster. But the V-King is significantly taller than that. So I did a quick dive through Sentai Mech specifications, and they were anywhere from like 50 meters to 70 meters. I saw more than a few of them were 55 meters, so I'm going with that as the height for it. And so I used a website called Anatomy for Sculptors, hpc.anatomyforsculptors.com, because that can give you an approximate height of, say, a head for like the full size, full height of a human body. So the head of Viking is approximately 7 meters tall. And that windshield bit up there might be an extra couple of meters, maybe 3 meters even. For reference, this is an ultra class loader called the Terex Titan. And you can kind of see, like, you can see how tall that person is, right? You see how they are utterly dwarfed by it, and that's like by the height of it as well. I'm imagining the head at its widest point is probably as wide as this due to the little vents that Viking has on the side of her head. So I am picturing something similar to this. So I was actually thinking of, instead of having her be on Viking's helmet like this, she might actually be hanging she might be hanging out on top of the handlebar. Or maybe even on the side vent of the cheek here, because you can see here, like this is each 1V, and you would need almost 4 Vs to be as tall as the full height of the Viking. So, with that in mind, that's kind of why I liked this reference picture more than any of the other ones that I found, because I think having the camera be from that top-down angle, it'll be able to show Viking's head, but V will be able to just hang out on the handlebar pretty easily, pretty comfortably like this. I am planning on tweaking the pose just a little bit so it does look more comfortable. But before that, I do also want to do a little bit of quick character design, because that is my forte for the summer outfit. I previously drew V in Hoshomarin's summer outfit here, but for her birthday. I do think that was a pretty funny day. So I was thinking of something very similar to that, because here you see that Noah does have a jacket, so I think we can go for something very, very, very similar. A long time ago, I made like proportionate V in this thing, so I think that's been a big help for situations like this. Let's just turn off that side menu and turn off the shadows as well. Okay, let's see. Shadows, cast shadows on the ground. No, thank you. Okay. Rasterize this because we don't really need to be super complex with it. Okay. So I do want to keep the open hat there. I do think it's going to need to say something else, because it'd be really weird to have it say police. All right. We don't even need to make the expression super rich or anything. We just need to draw the outline of it. I do wonder if maybe in a future update they'll add the ability to just make the outline of a 3D object. That might be helpful for things like this. I don't know. I don't really keep up with Clip Studio's capabilities much now, since they introduced the new pricing model. Also, I do have a few different pictures of outfits from the 80s as inspiration, but I don't know if I'm gonna get a lot out of this. Especially since I want to use the same jacket she always does. I'm actually thinking of maybe buttoning up the first couple buttons on the jacket. Like so. And then that's gonna go like this. Similar to how we have it here. I wish I could make it into like a knot. You know how some people have shirts that they wear open, but they tie in a knot in the middle? Maybe sort of like that. But I don't think that you should do that to varsity jackets. I feel like that's asking for trouble from the fabric. Does seem like it'd be a little bit warm to wear outside, though. Maybe we can have a middle ground or something. I am not entirely sure. There's also nothing saying that she needs to wear the jacket, per se. It would also be nice if she could roll up the sleeves like Noah has here. Jacket logistics will kill you. Straight up. I do also just like that this is just a very lifeguard kind of outfit, though. I think that fits for Noah's character, but I don't think it might fit for V, necessarily. Let me look something up real quick. Like, is there such a thing as, like, a summer varsity jacket? These all still look very warm. Check this out. Like, a lot of these still look like they would get very hot under the collar. Easily. Is there even such a thing as a summer jacket? I don't want to wear one in the summer. But there might be such a thing. Like, why would you call this a summer jacket? If it has, like, a quilted interior padding, that's not summer anymore. Bro lives in one of the poles. Alright, let's see. Maybe something like this could work. Not necessarily the same jacket, but maybe similar. I was also thinking of maybe changing the material of it as well. Because this looks like it's some kind of synthetic material, which would feel rather cool, but I was actually thinking maybe something like this. I don't know how to call this, like mesh. This mesh sweater a little bit, but that's going to be difficult to communicate as a texture. Also, not really feeling this one just yet. This was the only 80s summer fashion picture that I could find. It is a difficult beast to track down. It's a mysterious time period, the 80s. We don't know much about it anymore. We've lost that information at the time. And to be fair, it was almost very rapidly approaching 40 to 50 years ago, depending on who you ask. But yeah, no jackets here, though. This one that says Mickey Unlimited. Oh, hey, no, it is like Mickey Mouse there, isn't it? Oh, these are all the different fashion brands. Okay. I don't know why that didn't occur to me. Okay, no, this tag rag one seems like it could be promising. We kind of scale that up. Yeah, okay. Okay. I think I know what we need to do. So very similar premise. We already have a good foundation, is the thing. That's the one benefit that we're working with here, is that we already have a solid foundation for what we want. So I think the Letterman jacket is still just going to be sort of like this. In a neutral pose, it's going to sit very much as a flat collar when it's propped open like this. And I do think there is going to be like a little bit of a thing here. You know, I don't know how to call it, like the inside fold of the jacket. That. I should also pull up V's V's actual reference sheet on the other monitor, shouldn't I? I feel like that would be a prudent move. Let's see, it's going around here somewhere. There she is. Okay, yeah, so it reaches a little bit further up than that, so maybe around here. Yeah, okay. Okay, very similarly over here. God. Really funny sequence of events the last couple of weeks. I talked last time about how they dropped the absolute bombshell that they are not going to be fixing my oven. They are going to be replacing it entirely. They did that today, actually. As a matter of fact, they I still had to remove all the protective tape and packaging and everything, which was a lot of fun. Actually, I don't resent them for doing that. I think that's actually part of the customer experience, part of the customer satisfaction. And now I found out that they're apparently undertaking a huge construction project to replace the fucking cladding. I had to look up what cladding was. They are apparently going to replace the cladding of the building because it's weathered and needs to be replaced or something. And fucking, I'm glad that I'm going to be out of town most of next week because the construction team has set up shop like right outside my windows. Like literally, I could, during any time of the day, if I'm in my house and I look out my window between the hours of the building is clad in cladding. Damn, that's crazy. The missile knows where it is because it knows where it isn't. I should have guessed that it was that way. Hi Ryan, how you doing? Dog, they clad the fuck out of my building. You can't have shit in Grand Harbor. Okay. I mean, I guess it would be clad in cladding, right? It's clad. I don't know. Maybe the phrase "scantily clad" has given me, or ironclad has given me unrealistic expectations for what cladding should be. Because I feel like when I hear clad, doing okay. I'm shirking my VR duties, watching you do yours. Hey man, I'll pay you back soon enough. Wait, you don't stream. Never mind. Cook for as long as you need to, brother. We will be ready for the meal when it's ready. I don't know. I feel like don't tell V I said this, alright, because this might amount to insubordination. I feel like the community art duties have been extremely chill. Like I thought that I would feel more pressure, and I do feel the pressure, but I feel like also everybody is very understanding, and it's been a very steady process, so I don't feel rushed. I don't feel like a huge amount of pressure that I thought I would feel. It's kind of nice. Okay, so tank top question mark. I do think we could get away. I feel personal pressure. I don't feel any from anyone else. Yeah. That, you know what? That's a great way to put it. It's just your own sense of responsibility that's kind of propelling you forward in this case, which I find very refreshing. Right? I feel like in a lot of cases, it is nice that it is that way, because I feel like that's almost like your pride as an artisan that's speaking to you. Okay. High-waisted Daisy Dukes. Are those a thing? Oh, wait, actually, hang on. That picture that I showed you all earlier. Hang on. Oh, Ryan, actually, while you're here, could I ask you for a quick favor? Wait, actually, I could probably check this on my end as well. But is there like a call me Vegeta the way my pride is on the line? Bars. Oh yeah. So the favor that I wanted to ask you, on my stream, is there like a closed captions option? I recently installed a plugin that should make that available. I'm gonna go check it myself as well, but I just want to make sure that that's somewhere that's up. I'll take a look as well. Okay, I don't see it up there. That's I don't know. Maybe it's in the 3-dot button. No, I'm not really. Maybe in the gear. Oh, closed captions not available. Oh no, here we go. Captions available. Here we go. I think that did it. I'm on mobile right now, so I don't think I can see it. Okay, cool. I appreciate your willingness to help. Okay, so here we go. Right. So you can, in the future, you should be able to see this captions thing, and you should be able to see closed captions enabled or disabled or what have you. All right, we can. Are we gonna do like a Drosta effect on the? Yeah, we're doing a Drosta effect. Fuck yeah. All right, but yeah, you should have a thingy available here that says closed captions available or whatever. But yeah, no. Oh man, how far is it gonna go? Are we gonna see how far? Wait, how far is that? Oh, I can't make the picture any bigger. God damn it. Well, whatever. That's enough recursive doohickey bullshit for tonight. We just need to make sure that I just need to make sure that that was operational. That was a lot of fun, though. I feel like we should be allowed to do recursive doohickey stuff more often. I think it's been earned. Okay. So I really like the idea of it having the bow there. But I think it would need like the heart buckle at some point. So I'm thinking heart buckle first. On that belt. And maybe, yeah, almost like this, basically. Yeah, okay. We're cooking. Yeah, I like that because of the way that the model works. It doesn't really know how to quantify like this little bit of hip here, so I always kind of have to buff it out. And I do also like the idea of it having almost external pockets like this. Like pockets that are jutting out rather than built into the interior of the pants. There we go. Maybe having the little cargo pant thing is a bit much. She gotta put her phone somewhere. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How else is she going to play Fortnite and scroll through Twitter on her lunch break? I do think we should round out the corner here, though. Hey, Grand Blast, how you doing? We're cooking up a quick outfit for V to do the community art that was a goal for the Spooky Streamathon, I believe the name was. I might be getting that twisted. Spooktacular Streamathon, that's the one. But yeah, I offered my art services as one of the incentive goals, where the community would choose what to draw. That's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed that. Okay. Okay, and the thighs are just normal. I don't think we need anything particular for this. I do think we're gonna have, unfortunately, a dogs out kind of situation, and I need everybody to be normal about that. I fully believe in the principle of letting your freak flag fly, but I am a little bit tired of how performative feet jokes have gotten over the years. I feel like nowadays people make feet jokes because they feel like they have to, rather than because of like an actual enjoyment of it. I will try, but I will struggle. You know what? I will personally give you a pass. Restraint is not a virtue for everyone. Certainly isn't for me. I mean, I guess in the end, it's not really. I need to look at this from the standpoint of: is it actually hurting anybody that they're overdoing? I care more about that the mech anyhow. That's pretty noble. But yeah, I think it's better to approach the whole foot joke thing from like the angle of like, okay, in reality, who is it actually hurting? Because I feel like, I don't know, are like bona fide foot freaks, do they feel more safe in spaces where people make those jokes, or do they feel like they have to hide it even harder? That's the angle that I want to come at the issue from. Because I feel like even doing it jokingly, I do feel like it might open up the conversation in a good way, but I do feel like if it's only the butt end of jokes, I do imagine that could be frustrating. Okay. To be fair, I do have the opportunity to be the change that I see in the world, but I'm not taking it. So really, what does that make me? People donated to charity for those feet. There's complete justification to include them. Ryan has the right of it. As usual, Ryan is far ahead of the curve. Okay, then over here. I speak for the people. That you do. That you do. Let's see. Okay. And you could probably see a little bit of the ahoge peeking out from behind. Okay, so this one says 98 AV Ingram, which is the model of the... You cannot forget the ahoge. It is illegal to forget the ahoge. 98 AV Ingram. Okay, 98 AV. Is that the actual thing of the Ingram? Hang on. Ingram Padliver. Yeah, AV98 Ingram. I don't think the Viking has a ahoge con J. Esa está buena. I remember one time I was... It's been a flop tweet every time I tried it, but I remember I tried to say, like, what if the French spelled pendejo like this? Right? I try to launch that ship a couple of times, but each time it was dashed on the shore. It might not have even made it to the champagne bottle breaking upon its mast stage, if I'm being quite honest. To be fair, I am glad that it didn't pop off, because I do feel like if that had breached containment to the wrong people, I would have gotten death threats from both Hispanics and the French, which is what in strategy and logistics we would refer to as an unideal situation. I do think V does always just have to have the fingerless gloves on, because otherwise it's gonna feel too naked. Sun Tzu talked about that specifically. Yeah, no. He talked about the conditions to lead up to it. He did say that if your enemy is of a choleric temperament, seek to anger them, which I think is like the rage baiter's mantra at this point. I do think that if you showed like the average Twitter rage baiter that shit, they would be like they would like fire emoji react to it on Discord. Sun Tzu was right about a lot of shit, is the thing. He was really on the money for a guy that might not have even been real necessarily. I mean, not being real has never stopped somebody from spitting. I would trust Monkey D. Luffy with my life, and he's not real. As far as I know. I feel like I need to have something here. Like, maybe I can make the logo on a patch on the shorts? That seems like a good idea. We don't know if he was real, but we do know he was real. That's true. Truth nuke. God, I don't have the... I feel like I do make up any old bullshit to have a laugh, but I do also enjoy speaking to the genuine and profound. And because of that, I do feel like I have a lot of situations where I want to truth nuke react to something, but I feel like I should be more respectful about it. Like I need to fire off a truth M80 with the to communicate my intention. Okay. Wait, actually, we could just have... Hang on. I've just been looking through My Little Pony on the Doblaje wiki to see what ponies share actors with other characters. Word! What have been the results of your findings? If you have any to share that you wish to share. A lot of random characters as the most interesting were mentioned on Horsing Around. That makes sense. My brain immediately activates when I see Dragon Ball Z. I mean, of course. I mean, that's a natural reaction. There's no helping that. I do think I want to just have virtual up here on the cap. I don't know. Are there any other symbols that we could use for V on the shorts? I feel like the pockets are missing something. And I can get away with texturing them a little bit, but I do wonder. Like some kind of patch might be nice. I think just hearts is the way to go for that. Actually, wait, hang on. Heart, gene, patch. Or actually, no. What happens if I just look up heart genes? Okay, that makes sense. A little tribute to Jay somewhere might be the move. Might be the move. Oh, these look kind of nice, actually. The degree of wear on the like the bends there is a bit much for me, but I do like the way that they stand out like that. A little tribute to Jay might be nice. You can do the Viero shape that like what's on her boots. Yo, Ryan. Wait, that's good actually. Wait, that's really good. Wait, so here's what I'm thinking actually. Could we get away with something like that? No. That's not the way to go. Maybe I'm being too ambitious here. Maybe hang on. We remove that, and then we add this. Maybe. Okay. I think that also frees us from having to worry about certain things, but let's take a couple steps back. Okay, I think this definitely is the move. I agree with that much. And I think maybe around here we have this. But instead of making it a hard cut, like a patch line like this, we could just make it so that it follows that shape philosophy. I am putting way too much detail on these jorts. Gotta hold myself back. Okay. We can just color this in real quick. But yeah, really good idea, Ryan. Thank you for that. Okay. Only the best for the best. True. But yeah, I'm honestly picturing like an almost kind of worn out. I have a very worn out tank top with V's logo on it that I bought back when she put the shirts on sale for the first time. So I'm picturing actually something very similar for that. I do want like this to be very vintage outfit-ish. Like a lot of it feels worn and well loved rather than like high fashion or really new. Okay, so far so good. I don't think we say it enough that Ryan's a goddamn genius. Because he is. I feel very satisfied with this. Alright, let's move on. Ba-ba-ba-ba. In serio. Alright, then over here and over here. Okay, nice. Now, question is... Still on my doblaje bullshit, attempted to start a pony crack ship based off of which ponies are Latino VAs with my DV Super Yuri Rare pair. That sounds like a noble cause. I'm gonna be so real. I don't fully understand where... what that's gonna look like or what the journey you're on will be headed towards, but I support you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, here. Yes. All right. Dedicated Yuri soldier. I know that's right. Fully correct. Actually, what? Okay, this is gonna be a crazy question, but what? I guess denim comes in any old color you want, huh? Denim shorts, different colors. Let me check on something, real quick. Wait, have I just been on the jeans thing this whole time? Fuck. Oh well, better late than never. Here's the coloring work that we've done so far. I don't know when we went back and forth on that, but let's see. Color your closet. Bold, huge jeans and shorts. These are a little bit tough to look at, but I do like the idea of having them be like this more teal-ish color. I think that'll go well with the rest of the outfit. Oops. Yeah, like around that color. Or gray. Or gray could work also. Let's see. Select color gamut. Oh, I'm kind of this is still kind of bluish, but I do like the idea of the gray ones. I'm such a Himajoshi, I would even read Toriko for a single panel of Yuri. God, I remember being kind of into Toriko when that was first coming out, but then I'm falling off of it because I think either I ran out of anime episodes and I didn't know how to read manga back in the day, or I just kind of forgot about it eventually. I respect the hustle, but yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, I guess if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. I have no strong opinion on whether you should do it or not. I read a little bit of Toriko, and then I learned about the manga, and was like, yeah, no, I got other things to read. Yeah, that's the other thing. Fuck that guy. For real. Yeah, before I learned about the manga. It's always so... Yeah, it sucks. It fucking sucks when that happens. Currently on Cyborg 009. And, that's cool though. I feel like I need to read more of the comics that Ishinomori wrote. I feel like I really enjoyed my time with the Ishinomori Common Writer. So I'm hoping to maybe tap into some other things. See where that leads me. Let's see. God, one manga that I've been reading recently, I've read two of his works, OG Common Writer and his Link to the Past adaptation. He had that one of those? That's pretty cool. I've never heard about that. That one is new to me. It's really weird seeing how cartoony looking 009 is in comparison. I do think that was back in the time when like when everybody was like, I don't know how to put it, like Osamu Tezuka was his influence obviously cannot be understated. But I also find it very I like it was originally Nintendo Power, if I recall correctly, and they didn't release a full compilation. That's pretty cool. I like that. I remember being into I don't know if it's the same one. It might have also been A Link to the Past. It was that one NES game that is like an action RPG. Definitely inspired by Tezuka for that. Yeah, I think you couldn't really avoid it back in that day because I feel like that's also true for. Was Tezuka also Blackjack? Hang on. Yeah, no, it was also Black. That was also fucking Tezuka. All right. I was like, yeah. Also, the guy who did Blackjack was obviously inspired by Tezuka. No, dumbass. That's also Tezuka. The ending of his Link to the Past is classic Ishinomori. I don't know if you wanted spoiler or not. You know what? Hit me with it. Hit me with it. I feel like I would actually be enriched knowing what's coming compared to going in fully blind. Select color gamut. Okay, let's try this. Okay, tanned khakis is actually looking kind of good. Purple, not so much. I do think, yeah, I think maybe doing it a little bit more towards blue is helping out a lot here. Okay, let's do that. And then also... Actually, wait, yeah, you know what? Belay the order to spoil the Link to the Past, Link to the Past, because I feel like, whoops. You know what? Fuck, my bad. It ends how you would expect with Link defeating Ganon, follows the game, but the epilogue is Link choosing to guard the Master Sword in the forest and isolating himself from the rest of the world because of his warrior path, making him unable to connect to others. Fuck, you're right, that is Pikachu no Mori. You know what? I don't regret my decision. You did the right thing, right? I might have failed you I might have failed. It's not like it's a major spoiler anywhere. Wait, I guess that's true, honestly. And I do think that I was right in that I do feel more compelled to explore it now that I know that. Wait, what if I made the inside of the pockets? Ooh. Okay, hang on. This might be something. Okay. Wait, hang on. This could be huge. You know what? I think I'm good with that. I think I like the trim on a couple of the parts of the shorts. I do think I want to go for the red trim on the bottoms. Yeah, I think this is good. No. I think blue jean is pretty good, but I think this is how we're going. I think this is the correct path. Although I am gonna try something real quick. I haven't commented on the fashion too much, but I must say I'm a big fan of what we're doing here. I do think it's a very charming outfit. I think I think we're definitely on the correct path. In a little bit of a blend of V and also Noah, and also I guess Hoshomarin in a distant ancestor kind of way. Okay, I think this is the fit we're going to go with. I think I'm a little bit ambivalent about the belt actually, because I do feel like that's a little bit much for what's supposed to be like a very breezy, summery outfit. So here's what I'm thinking. Remove the ribbons, I think, maybe. Or actually, hang on. There are jeans that do have drawstring waistbands, aren't there? Hang on. Drawstring waistband denim shorts. Come on, please. Please, bro, I need this. Okay, wait, no, okay, this is... Huh. Okay. Interesting angle I hadn't considered before. The fact that we could have a couple of distress marks on them. I don't have confidence in rendering those, though, so I'm not going to be doing that. But I think this has given us a fascinating way forward. All right, let's go back real quick and try something. Unfortunately, we are going to have to sacrifice the buttons on the middle there, but that's fine. I'm fine with that sacrifice. I don't know if tucking the shirt into the shorts is going to make it too dorky looking, though. So maybe a little bit of tummy in between. Maybe lower. Yeah, I think here's what let's do. lower the waist on the shorts just a tiny bit. Add a little bit of midriff here. Make sure the shirt is there. Let me get the model back on screen. Okay, yeah. Hang on. And just lower this a tiny bit. And what we're gonna do is we're going to make the top of the shorts this drawstring kind of configuration. I'm also gonna get rid of this line because it's just been pissing me off. Was I away from the screen, but then I heard midriff? Well, listen. I've been in that exact same situation. I understand. But yeah, no, we're rearranging the configuration a little bit. We're gonna see just the slightest peak of tummy here. Okay. Oh, okay, I say tummy. B has abs, though, is the thing. So it's not exactly tummy. Your mind? Thank you. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna make the zipper a little bit less pronounced, but still visible there. And let's see what we're working with. Okay. Wrong layer. Wondrous work, thank you. Okay. Well, we're also going to need to get rid of the little metal buttons here. Alright, let's move. Wait, how big is the millipen? Okay, there we go. Okay, then over here. Then over here. Yeah, okay, this is definitely looking much more casual compared to the other version. I do think that's a big step up. Also, I think I might have defined the abs a little bit too thoroughly. The thing about abs, right, is that they are very good in theory. In practice, they're a little bit tough for me to render because well, first of all, I don't have personal reference for what it's like to have abs. But second of all, because I feel like the rigidity of it compared to like how soft I normally imagine human bodies to be is a little incongruous. And that's the thing, though. They're not soft. Most of the time, they're just relaxed, and they act like normal stomach muscles. It's only when you contract them that they actually make, like, the, you know, kind of meat grater kind of sensation that they normally have. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I don't have a lot of experience drawing abs. I think that's the main takeaway here. I'm not interested in gaining more, but I earn more experience regardless. I don't seek it, but it comes to me anyway. That's what it means to be an artist, I think. Sadly, I am now second guessing the white patches on the shorts here. I don't know if abs are normally visible unless you're actively flexing them, but I don't have abs either. I think that's the thing. From everything that I've read, abs should not be normally visible. Like, the abs that you see on models and such are usually the product of a little bit of tightening of the skin through dehydration, and also very, very, very extensive dieting and mindfulness. And I feel like V as a character doesn't do a lot of dieting. Like, I don't think like having a strongly controlled diet is part of her nature. Like, there are some characters where I'm like, yeah, no, that guy definitely eats blended chicken breasts and only 2 bean sprouts for lunch to have those abs. Like, there are some characters where I could be like, I believe that. But most of the time, it's just like any other muscle that you have but doesn't really activate at any given time. It's just kind of hanging out there. I want to say V has said she doesn't really care much for the abs because every time she comes out, she never puts them. Maybe we could change the color of those shorts themselves. I included them because I'm a man of culture. Much to consider, I suppose. Thank you yet again, Ryan. That is true. We should be thanking him for that. I think it's fine not to include them here. There's a time and place for everything. Yeah, this doesn't really feel like an abs kind of situation. I like the phrasing of that. This doesn't feel like an abs kind of situation. Like it's some weapon to be deployed. Bigger midriff gap than maybe? Yeah. It is a nice little lesson in anatomy every time I need to remember to draw like really detailed abs. I feel like it's good practice for just drawing kind of skin over skin, if that makes sense. Because it's like a lot of folds in a very close proximity that you need to be mindful of. It's kind of cool. Oh wait, what about... When it's time to deploy the abs, is what Sakamoto Days is about. I haven't read it. It might be. I've only read a couple of chapters of Sakamoto Days. I've read up to the fight where he has to jump out of a train, jump into a different train, run across a train, and then jump back into the first train he got kicked out of, which is a lot to process if you have no idea about what happens in that series. It's so funny. I don't... A lot of different series take their power scaling very seriously. But I don't think Sakamoto Days is that kind of series, because a lot of the power scaling is just who's locked into this assassination shit the hardest. Very funny manga. I have unfortunately heard that it's kind of fallen off a little bit, but you know, it is the nature of everything to rise and decline. I think I'm gonna also remove these. Could be something. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of the time when people say something has fallen off, I don't fully trust it. Because I remember a lot of people said that about Chainsaw Man, and that shit's always been peak to me. So I'm a little bit hesitant about it. I'm always a little leery of it. Of the falling off allegations. More My Little Pony dub fun facts. The Portuguese Brazilian dub Rarity voice actor is also Nami in the first One Piece Portuguese Brazilian dub and Robin in the second. Fucking awesome. Hang on. I feel like I've lost the plot somewhat. Wait, Portuguese Applejack. Okay. Interesting. You know, because I honestly could picture it when you said Rarity, because like I'm thinking about Rarity's voice and Nami's voice, and that's much more like to each other compared to Applejack's voice. It's kind of weird to think about. Especially with Robin. I couldn't imagine like Applejack doing Robin's voice, but that's fascinating. Okay, I will say though, I think we're almost done here. I do think maybe it's a good idea to just keep the shorts red. It is that one principle of, and pardon my language here, keep it simple, stupid. I feel like that's a very much an underrated principle, and I think it's one that I need to observe more frequently. Wait, what if... Okay, one exception to the keeping it simple part. There is something there, but I'm not sure if I should pursue. Okay, wait, so... Blue and white. I do want a little bit of blue in there. I just like having that splash of blue. I feel like the red works because the broader palette is more limited in that way, but adding more of the logo color so could also fit the vibe is kind of this kind of picture. That's a thing as well. I'm wondering if I am trying to make it fit the more kind of summery vibe. So I do think that maybe red isn't the way to go. Maybe white with red highlights might be... Oh, hey, hang on. sort of like this, but then the consistency with the shirt is kind of fucked. I'd say make the pants blue. You're right, I think I'm overthinking this. I flew too close to the color sauce sun. God, that is so much better looking. It's nice to keep it simple. It is nice to keep it simple. Yup. Okay. Yeah. Basta. Suficiente. Blue pants are always very simple and steady fashion choice, I find. I am of much the same mind. I also believe that. Okay. All right, we have our knowledge in hand. We can move on. The mysterious gray rectangle. Okay. Especially if your vibe is more in the realm of casual. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Okay. Thinking. Okay. Felt like an effort in and of itself. You still got the actual piece to do. True. I think one of my favorite words that I've come to learn of as an adult is scope. I think the concept and idea of scoping is so fucking important in a way that's not easy to really express in some cases. Oh, actually, this is almost a perfect pose. Maybe a little bit more... Hang on. Okay. I don't know. There are a lot of good sitting poses. When did I get these? Why did I just have these lying around? You know what? I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. Yeah, that is the phrase. Don't worry about it. Okay. Okay. Up. Wait, no, we need this, and then we're also going to... Actually, we're gonna ignore this real quick. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're going to copy and paste this. Make like a very rough outline with the marquee tool, or lasso tool, pardon me. Over the body shape. Okay. I think a good strategy might actually... I know Jay has some 3D models of V-King, so I might also enlist her help for providing those. in case this doesn't work out. Today's main idea was to get part of the line art started at least and get the sketch done. So we have a jumping off point once we actually get started on the piece. My goal is to try and at least complete it before the end of the week because I have a week-long vacation next week starting on Saturday. So that's going to be from the 22nd to I want to say the 27th at least. And I'm gonna be dog tired by on the 27th, so I'm probably not gonna be able to be. I'm gonna be out of commission until at the earliest the 28th, and that's a long time. So I'd like to have this completed by that time. So I that is why both of the streams this week are just going to be me working on this. I have kind of fucked myself by putting so many irons in the fire right before I leave. But that's fine. I think it's important to also have that feeling of being cornered. I feel like it's more... I'm encouraged to take life more seriously when that happens. I don't know. I feel like I think one of my biggest deficits is that I only feel satisfied by my work if I feel like I am absolutely exhausted by the end of it. And that's really unhealthy as an approach to, well, basically anything to begin with, but more specifically for work. Okay, where is the V-King thing? That is V. There we go. You do that too? Hmm. It's kind of incredible the mysterious power that panic can fill you with. Okay. Come to think of it, let me try something real quick. This isn't a function that I've used very often. Myself, last minute before deadline kind of gal. Yeah. I don't know. There's something very satisfying to when you can devote all of your attention to something because it's urgent. Okay, let me see something. There's a function in this that lets you use... Oh, here we go. Post scanner image. Okay, let me try this. I hope this works. Okay, kinda. You know what? It's a good start, I think. Although, maybe not really. Yeah, I do think that maybe the key to making this look more relaxed is if her arms are like fully out like this. Hang on, how does this... Okay, no, that should be sufficient for the shoulder rotation. Although maybe I need to rotate it a little further in one direction or the other. Yeah, okay. So yeah, if you didn't know, Clip Studio has a function where if you hover over the models options down here, there's one that says something like pose... Hang on, what does it say exactly? Use 3D pose material. And usually you can use that to upload like a picture of yourself to the program, and it'll kind of finagle the pose on the picture into the model. As you can see, the success rate isn't exactly high. But it'll do. Okay, maybe put this one back a little bit and then up a little bit. Come on, buddy. No? Ooh. Oh, wait, I know what I can do. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. All right. Okay. How are we looking for the leg intersection? Not very good. We need to cross that one a little bit further. Maybe... How do we... Oh. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, and then, yeah, we can just, like, there we go. Having the palms down feels much more relaxed. Okay, this feels like this feels much more relaxed than what's actually in the reference. Okay. Let's see. Because my idea is that she's chilling out somewhere up here. I'm gonna call this in like a sort of crow's nest kind of place where she can... Hang on. So I guess it would be sort of like this. With the bottom handlebar being the place for her body to sit, and the top of the handlebar being the backrest. And I do not know enough about motorcycles or their handlebars to add any significant detail to this. We can do better than this. Okay, how about maybe in that other place that I was thinking of, which is like the vents right here on the cheek. Okay, then up here. The correct move might be instead to change the proportions of the piece. So hang on. Change canvas size. Move this over here. Okay, we need to take off that casted shadow. I cannot deal with this right now. Shadows. Cast shadow on the ground? No. Alright. Okay, and then over here. Something like this. We might need to do something about that foreshortening. I can probably get that in order once I get the models from Jay. Yeah, we might need to... Hang on. I think the best option is to increase the size of this. Of the helmet, I mean. I need to rasterize this one so I can move it around. Maybe we can add a little bit more depth on the bottom here, but then that's gonna be... Yeah, no, let's not do that. Let's not go that way. What we could do is go a little bit smaller. Make this a little bit less like so. More kind of tilted towards a specific angle. If I may speak more in dubbing, it really amazes me how every entry on the Espanol, Latino, Portuguese, Brazilian dub wiki says like 150 roles from every other anime, cartoon, movie, and game in the last 3 decades. I imagine the talent pool is maybe a little bit smaller over there. Like we have one or like, you know how Johnny Young Bosch was in fucking everything for a while. I feel like maybe it's like 50 Johnny Young Bosches running around in that particular case. God, ever since somebody pointed out to me like what Johnny Young Bosch sounds like, I haven't been able to unhear him from everything. Like Pearl clocked him in fucking Dead Rising 3, and every single time the same voice line came up, I was like, "Oh, hi, Johnny Young Bosch." You couldn't keep that guy out of nothing. then over here. Actually, hang on. What'll happen if I flip this whole script? Okay, interesting. Is it just me, or it's like 50% of the reason that Johnny Young Bosch became such a big star is just because he has a really fun name to say? It's very like syllabically pleasing, if that's how you can say it. Very good cadence to it. Like you almost don't want to be on a first name basis with him just because it's so cool to say all three names at once. Okay, hang on. Motorcycle handlebar. What the fuck is this? Yo, get me a pair of the 90-degree fuck your life specials on my motorcycle. Very rare among Anglophones to have three names in casually. The middle name usually isn't included. Yeah, I do hear... Hang on. Pause. They're called... Okay, check this out. 2022 later, fat bars. Oh man, these guys should have changed their name and logo a long time ago. Upgrade your motorcycle style and comfort with our super fat 2-inch handlebars. Designed for models with 1-inch risers and compatible with throttle-by-wire systems. Wait, hang on. 12-inch. Christ! Fuck. These are 4-inch ones, by the way. Oh, God. Why does your head look so big? This looks fucked. All right, we're not doing that, obviously. Okay, we're obviously not going to go with those. Stop showing me your 90-degree handlebars. Stop showing me your 90-degree handlebars. Okay, this'll do. Okay, let's grab... The stock of Johnny Young Bosch reminds me that Luffy's English VA is named Colleen Clinkenbeard? Clinkenbeard is very much a dwarf name. Right? Like, Clinkenbeard sounds like some shit that Tolkien would whip out in the middle of a brief exposition on Dwarven history. Mrs. Clinkenbeard, alright. I do find that endearing, though, because I do know that One Piece was initially intended to be a Viking story. Like, before Oda settled on the concept of pirates, I think he was like aiming to have like Vikings involved. And you do see that a lot with some of the costume design. But I don't know, Clinkenbeard also sounds very Viking to me. Like, I know Blackbeard, Whitebeard, Redbeard, etc. were all pirates of some renown. Like, beard as like a prefix or suffix. No, it'll be suffix. As a suffix for your name is very pirate coded. By Vicky the Viking. Yeah. Fuck. I I was looking through some screenshots that I've been taking while I was reading manga at some point, and I found some screenshots of, hang on, maybe not handlebars, motorcycle handles. Okay, yeah. Now we're getting somewhere. But yeah, I was taking some screenshots of manga that I was reading through at some point, and I found my screenshots of my read through of Bakuman, which, if you've never heard of Bakuman, is a manga about making manga, basically. Very dramatized, but also does give you some insights into the method and kind of dynamics. What the fuck? Methods and dynamics of Jump Editorial. Again, very highly dramatized. And they have a character in there who is like this bizarre kid who has been like trying to be a professional mangaka since he was like 17. And apparently that kid is loosely based on Eiichiro Oda. And it's so fucking funny because every time you see him on screen, you can kind of feel like the author and artist of the manga were kind of seething at that fucking guy. Like he makes everything look easy, and it is presented as an absolutely cool thing, but I do feel like maybe they were choking back a couple of tears of blood while doing that. From front. It is funny to think about. Ooh, this'll help. Okay. Because yeah, what I was thinking as well, okay, maybe we can make B just a tiny bit bigger here. Alright. And what I was thinking is maybe have a cooler or something. Definitely a drink somewhere. Maybe a parasol too. I don't know, where could you fit a parasol on here though? Okay. Unfortunately, the Spanish One Piece dub has not gotten to the episode where my Blorbo Chinode appears, so I can find out what other roles she has. Aww. I mean, you could try and do some kind of... Tontine isn't the right word. Some kind of pool to figure out which one of the voice actresses might get her. Because like you said, a lot of the voice actresses are shared between characters, right? Or rather, there's only a few voice actresses that go between characters. There's not like a huge pool, so maybe you might be able to guess it ahead of time. I think the dub is getting pretty close. That's good. It's exciting though, right? Bag water cooler. Rocky Bow's backpack cooler, 36 can insulated portable cooler. That's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah. Okay, flip this around. Okay. Okay, and then no. I think adding drinks might be excessive. Again, gotta remember the scope of all this. Yeah, let's get rid of that. I do still kind of want a parasol though. I don't know, is there like a hang on. Portable parasol? No, okay, that's just a normal parasol though. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Interesting. Could do something like that. Actually, we could just put a beach umbrella in the crook of the thingamajig. The handlebar, I mean. Good thing to know for next time I want to see. I put a tiny parasol on a motorcycle. Yeah, in case you got Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and now you need to think fast. Okay, wait, this could work. Just kind of nestled in the crook there, and maybe not. Well, beach umbrellas are supposed to be pretty broad. Actually, wait, shouldn't I probably have a beach umbrella asset somewhere on here, don't I? Let's see. No? Huh. Could have sworn I... Okay, wait, no, here we go. We got something like it at least. Come on, give it here. There we go. Why? Oh, because this is the raster layer. That's why. Dang it. All right. Up. Settings. Shadows. Do not cast shadows on the ground. I will whoop your ass. Okay. It's just kind of nice to rotate it like this. Okay, let's see. Dunk, and dunk. Come on, pal. Stop moving it upward. God damn it. All right. Wait, no, this works. Wait, no, that works really well, actually. Hang on. I really like how that works. Okay. Perfect. Actually, wait, this is absolutely perfect. Where the hell was I drawing? Okay, right over here. It's probably gonna feel more chill when it's finished, but for now, aura. A little bit, huh? I'm kind of feeling it, honestly. Okay. Alright. Okay, now ladies. Yeah. Alright. We can probably make this a slightly darker shade. And we also need to get the reference for V. That's not the right one. There we go. Okay, what kind of expression did Noah have on... Okay, just very kind of her usual expression of, like, wide-eyed, maybe looking at something else, surprisingly. That is an interesting contrast. That is something that I've noticed, and I do think it's a known trend that in a lot of the more conventional anime girl pictures, they have the girl looking at the camera, but with her mouth slightly open because it looks like she's talking to you. And you can kind of see that difference here. Like, I think it's because she's not looking at the camera that she looks so much more peaceful, because I think when the subject is looking at the camera, it is very much intended for the perceiver, right? For the person who's looking at the picture to feel seen. I think since this is more of a chill scene, I do think it might be a better idea to change the head angle. So we're just gonna behead the body here. As grotesque as that might be. Okay. Gonna paint this red and this one red as well. Wow, I'm learning so much. This is probably the kind of thing you don't need to learn. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it too much if you don't feel like learning it. I don't know. There are certain types of knowledge in this world where you feel like you gain some insight from it, but you also feel kind of saddened by knowing it. Like, for example, the fact that a lot of casinos and casino games, you know, in casinos there are no clocks, so you lose track of time and spend more time gambling and such. And in a lot of situations, they have brightly lit and colorful screens, because if they end up having a black screen, you can see your reflection in it sometimes. And so it turns out that's not always good for business. Okay, then this is gonna kind of fall like so over here. Perfect. I mean, the concept about the subject looking at or away from the camera. I mean, that's true as well. I think that there is a much more charitable way of looking at it, so I think that's the correct approach to take. Yeah, because I think if the subject isn't looking at the camera, the picture feels much more candid. They feel like they're less perceived. Which it is complicated as well, because I think I'm fascinated from like a social perspective, the overlap with VTubers and people who like anime, because broadly speaking, in 99% of cases, people who who like VTubers, especially ones who are like Western VTubers, like not like Japanese native VTubers, but you know, people like me who started VTubing from an English speaking country or from a non-Japanese society. It's kind of interesting because I feel like VTubers are a niche that you need to be into already, stuff like anime and such, to kind of be in contact with. You at least need to have some kind of nerdy association with it. And, you know, I imagine it's much the same in Japan, right? Where you have to already be kind of a nerd to know what a VTuber is. Like, yes, they are massively popular. Not on the scale of maybe normal YouTubers in some cases, but definitely they're like a thing that is known. You know, if you talk to somebody who like knows a thing or two about streamers or YouTubers or whatever, right? They are likely to know or at least have heard of VTubers. But where this kind of diverges, I guess, is that I imagine that, and I feel like I would need to talk to like a Japanese person who doesn't know a damn thing about VTubers in order to at least have a more grounded perspective in this. But I feel like in much the same way that, like, you know, a random person you meet on the street might know who Mr. Beast is, for example. And that's a bad example because that's like the #1 guy, right? But, you know, in the same way that somebody might know who Mr. Beast is, you know, somebody will be like, oh yeah, I guess I've heard of like Pecora or, you know, Inogami Korone, whatever, right? But I do think that because it is also kind of overlapping with that idea of like anime and such, in Western circles, I feel like people who are VTubers and are fans of VTubers are much more likely to be tuned into or have previous experience as an anime fan. And I think because of that, and because a lot of technology and a lot of the trends associated with VTubing are basically exported from Japan, I'm fascinated by like how the semiotics have translated, because like we've already kind of taken almost wholesale idol culture semiotics, right? Like the things like Oshi marks, things like fan bases, the idea of like singing and karaoke, those are all, or like meet and greet events, those are very much rooted in idol culture. I feel like there have been meet and greets for Western artists before, like that's a thing that's happened. But I'm fascinated in studying the extent to which this occurs, because I've mentioned this a couple of times before. Have you noticed that almost every VTuber, whether they're Japanese speaking or not, has their model on the right hand side of the screen? I'm very much an exception because I have mine on the left hand side model, but I guarantee you, if we like, hang on, let's play a little game. Let me test this theory where it might not hold water. I want to see something. All right, so let's go to VTuber, and browse. Let's go to twitch.tv and browse VTuber as a tag. Right? So categories, more options. Hang on. Where's the... Here we go. Okay, so VTuber. Live channels tagged VTuber. Let's take a look here. Whoa, okay, that's a whole ass on the screen. Feel like off the top of my head, I think a lot of left side English language VTubers. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that's true, because look, there's one right there. You know what? No, there's an... Fuck, I might not actually be in the minority here. Wait, that's really funny. Okay, no, there are a couple who are on the right-hand side. I guess it... You know what? I stand corrected. I think that was my own personal bias. Because there is a good spread between people who are on the left-hand side and on the right-hand side. And, you know, there are some people who are just in the center, but that doesn't really count. Fuck, now to be unique, you need to be a centrist, middle-of-the-screen VTuber. And I think that is very much the case for people who are, like, doing just chatting. I do think that... It does make sense, because, like, if you're playing... What is that? Monster Hunter, right? You don't want to be, like, in the middle of the action. Kind of like... That's kind of like wandering in front of the TV screen, right? When somebody's, like, watching a movie. Oh, hi, Jupiter. Okay, that's too much of a divot. I need to soften it a little bit. VTuber playing a Nintendo DS game who is between the two screens. God, that would be really funny. It would look... It might be kind of aura farming. Can you imagine? Like, you have... Hang on. Like, if you're even, like, playing, I don't know, Kirby or something, right? And I'm thinking of the Squeak Squad interface, because that's the one that I remember the most. And, like, you just have somebody in the middle here who is, like, completely locked in. That could have some aura to it. Right? I'm not allowed to hack 3DS, because if I did, I'd never play a new video game again. I have a DSi that I have a funny little cartridge that needs very little explanation for how it works, that lets me play a few different games. And let me tell you, I have never felt the need to get a Switch because, like, oh, you can play it when you travel, because I have my DS. That shit has been a rock-solid foundation of my travel itinerary for the past 5 years. Actually longer, because I did this shit back when I was... Well, no, okay. Past 3 years since I got the cartridges for it, but I've been bringing that sucker along forever, possibly. You wouldn't have this experience with a PS Vita. No, I would not. Fuck, I remember I actually was really tempted to, like, get myself an eBay PS Vita, because of all things, I got it in my head that I really badly wanted to play Persona 4 Golden. So I was like, alright, let's do a feasibility study of this. I would need at least a PS Vita, and I would need at least a cartridge for a Persona 4 Golden. Pardon me, I had to sneeze. I would need at least a PS Vita, and I would need at least the cartridge for Persona 4 Golden, or the MUD, or whatever the fuck it's called, right? I was, like, doing the logistics of this before I was like, wait a minute, this is stupid, I should just play something else. And then I did that, and then they released Persona 4 Golden on the computer. Vindicating me for possibly forever. I do own Persona 4 Golden. I do own... Do I own Persona 5? Pause. Let me check my stream library. I might have bought it during a Humble Bundle at some point. Okay, no. I have Persona 4 Golden, and I have Persona 5 Strikers, which I think is a Muso game, which is a really funny combination of games to have. It is fucked in the head that the first Like a Dragon game that I ever played was fucking Ishin. Why did I do that to myself? Why didn't I start out with 0 like every other sane person on this planet? Guy who only plays Persona 5 spin-offs? Honestly, Persona 5 has covered so much media that you could essentially use it as a gateway for like 80 different things. I will be fucking pissed off if they never did Persona 5 The Curry. Why do you own the sequel to Persona 5 but not the original? I didn't buy it! I got it off a Humble Bundle. Relax, relax. Do not shoot. Do not shoot. The rice yearns for ye old East Asia. Maybe. I don't think I have the samurai spirit in me, sadly, but I might have something in there. Let's see. Hang on. Persona 5 Curry. Curry collab. Well, let's take a quick look-see here. Persona 5 The Royal Collaboration on Project Sekai. Are you fucking for real, Miku? Why are you letting this bum into your house? Maybe you have the peasant spirit? Now that I could believe. Hang on. Persona 5 curry. Oh, here we go. LeBlanc curry and coffee now being sold at the cafe. Okay, that's more or less what I was expecting. Who the fuck are these guys? Oh, these are from... Oh, P5X, I see. Right, the fucking mobile game. No, don't kill Miku. The curse, the curse. I'm not killing Miku. I'm killing the bum standing next to her. Or standing at like an arm's length next to her. Fuck it. I still remember enough from Smash Ultimate that I could play and that I could Little Mac this motherfucker across the continent. I'm not scared of him. I would never threaten to kill Miku. I don't see myself in a situation where I would be put in those circumstances. That being said, I am sorry, Miku, but I am not playing Project Sekai. If God forbid I ever get convinced to download a gacha game on my phone again, it absolutely won't be a rhythm game. I'm sorry, but I'm not built like that. Oh wait, right, her sleeves are rolled up. I forgot. I forgot. I do think that, like, if you kill Miku, I do think you are going to have, like, a Kane-esque permanent mark of knowledge that you killed, like, perhaps the only innocent being on this planet. I do think, like, people will shun you just instinctively. Taiko fanatic, Vocaloid fan after Miku becomes the face of evil AI. What? What? They're going to beat the shit out of it. Oh! Okay. I was like, wait, are the Taiko Tatsujin fans like preying on Miku's downfall for some reason? God, I remember... Does everyone remember the I guess we're doing triangles now meme? Or I guess we're doing circles now meme? I remember one that I saw where where they had replaced the circles with Taiko no Tatsujin notes, and the guy on the conveyor belt was going ham on 3 trillion nights and overnight day or something like that. That song that goes like Shiranai, Shiranai, that goes really, really fast. 3 trillion years an overnight story. I think that's the name of the song. That's such a good song, by the way. I like it a lot. But yeah, I'm imagining something like that, but as a sort of highly disrespectful Street Fighter 3 third strike combo on what has regrettably become corrupted Miku. I'm sorry it had to be this way, but, you know, it is what it is. I could probably put these a little bit further in. I should save my work. I do wish I was better at rhythm games. I feel like rhythm games are very satisfying in some ways, but I don't have the coordination for it. I like the idea of moving your body to the beat of a song, but I am not a fan of having to remember like a map pattern. I thought I would vibe with something like a Rhythm Heaven before this reason, for example, where you just kind of have to keep going on the beat. But honestly, I am not very good at Rhythm Heaven either. I'm not sure how I managed to beat Hi-Fi Rush myself. I don't remember how that happened. But I also remember having a very hard time picking that up. Okay. There we go. I wonder how much overlap there is between Hi-Fi Rush and No Straight Roads fan. I'm not gonna say a circle, but definitely I do think that if you like one game, you will like the other. I do think they have like different mechanics though, because I don't think... Does No Straight Roads have like rhythm mechanics? I don't think it does. It just has really good boss fights and music. So I don't imagine the line is a circle per se, but I do imagine there is a lot of friends between the two fan bases. Enemies move on the beat. Huh. And that's pretty close. Okay, then over here. Okay. But yeah, I really like No Straight Roads because of its character designs and music. I before the game came out, I bought the sample soundtrack disc, which has like the music for the boss fights from the main 5 boss fights. I think it was like the DJ Subatomic, the Yinu, Sayu, and fuck, what was that other guy? 1010, I think. Oh, and against the artist lady one. I don't remember her name right now. But yeah, I remember I got that disc and I was very happy with that purchase. It's not a disc per se. It is a Bandcamp download link. But you know, the spirit of it is still there. Okay, then over here. I need to make the face a little bit sharper. I need to tuck in the neck a little bit more too. Wasn't there like a Twitter trend about this recently? Like somebody was trying to draw Farron from an upwards angle like this, and they you know, they tried their best, but it's a tricky bastard sometimes. I really like the one that they came up with. It made me very nostalgic for my own progress back in the day. I don't know. I feel like the progress that I've made as an artist is much more subtle nowadays. Like, I definitely feel like if I look back at things that I made a year ago, I definitely feel like, oh yeah, no, I'm definitely stronger now than I was then. But I don't feel it happening. It's not like back in the day when I was like, oh my god, I am so much better at this now. It felt very reminiscent of those struggles where you were like you understood what was wrong, but you didn't quite know how to quite fix it just yet. It's a very healthy kind of frustration, the one where you aren't sure what you need to do, but you know that you need to do something. Let's move this kind of like so. Well, to be honest, I still struggle with that sort of thing now and again. Perspective is a real piece of shit to get it working properly. Even when you know what you're doing. Even when you have a reference, it can still be difficult, since you can't really use a reference one for one in a lot of cases. Okay, and then we can add... Did I draw the feet? Yes, I did. Okay. I can maybe make the ankles a little bit thinner. Okay. And then... I guess the next thing would be the parasol in the hand. Okay. I wonder if it's possible to just order straight up donair or shawarma meat from my local donair place. Because I have quite a bit of rice to go through before I leave on vacation for the weekend. And rice doesn't freeze too well. I'm also struggling because I also very recently bought a loaf of bread and I haven't been going through it as quickly as I had wanted to. So I need to finish 2 things of carbohydrates on very quickly on 2 separate fronts. I can take care of the bread, but I don't know if I can take care of both the bread and the rice. So I was thinking to myself if I could maybe order or get myself just some shawarma meat or like some donair rotisserie beef to kind of pair with the rice. Because I feel like that'll be the easiest way for me to demolish it. That or maybe some curry. But the thing is, people normally serve curry already with rice because I guess people... the barbarians of Canada haven't yet yielded from the tyrannical potato to the superior carb. Growing rice releases additional carbohydrate into the ecosystem. Go fuck yourself. Or not carbohydrates. It releases additional CO2 into the ecosystem. Go fuck yourself. I would sacrifice everything for rice. Okay. And then this one here. Okay, we can get rid of this one, and then we can add this. Okay, so it's going to kind of bend here. I kind of miss this weather. The weather in the picture, I mean. The weather we're having right now is dog shit. Hey, why is there a giant alien spaceship looming over the Earth? And why is it an abandoned field full of rice? God. I'm just imagining some kind of human arc ship goes into the stars fucks off to, like, I don't know, Mercury for a couple of centuries and then comes back to see if Earth has recovered. And they just find me with like 50 billion bales of rice. And they're like, wait, where are the rest of the people? And I'm like, I did what I had to do. Okay, I see how this goes. I think I see how this goes, actually. Maybe I don't see how this goes. Definitely gonna need to look into making a figure from the 3D model for this one. Okay, and then over here. Actually, wait a minute. Hang on, I have an idea, and I don't know if it's a good idea, but it's an idea, and I want to try it. Okay, first of all, I need to define this ankle a little bit better. Second of all, oh yeah, that's looking nice. Okay, second thing. In my materials, I should have a motorcycle in here. Okay, a bicycle isn't exactly what I had in mind. I swear to God I had a motorcycle, though. Small objects, maybe? Taxi, SUV... An M16, that's not right. No motorcycles in sight, though. I swear to God I had a motorcycle somewhere. I have a bicycle. I have that TNT. How do I not have a motorcycle? You know what? I imagine this is possibly, or actually, hang on. Let's not discount the humble bicycle in this matter. Okay, can I isolate? No, I cannot isolate the handles themselves, but these still look pretty motorcycle-ish. Maybe a little bit bigger, turn them to the side a little more. This should work. Maybe. Okay, it might work. I'll have to double check if there are any motorcycle references in here. Let me take a look. Announcements, free materials, have to look at that later. Motorcycle. Oh wow, there are a couple of them here. And they're free too. Very nice. Okay, let's grab a couple of these, just so we have some variety to choose from. And I need to log into Celsius. Okay. One moment, please. I need to retrieve my password from my Trove. Okay. Motorcycles are such fascinating creatures. I feel like I understand how they work fundamentally. I don't understand how they work in an advanced way. I guess that's true of most modern vehicles, huh? Like, I understand there's an engine in there somewhere, but like... Damn if I know where it is. Oh no, you know exactly where it is on the motorcycle because you can usually see it. Me with all car engines, right? I guess it is very much out of sight and out of mind for the most part. Okay, download that. Shit, some of these even have like different submodels within them. That's pretty sick. Alright. Let's double check. We should have... Yes! Success. Alright. Get out of here, my bicycle. Okay, this is one of the first ones that I picked. Mostly because I feel like the look of it just fits with Viking's aesthetic. Oh, wait, what we should do also is figure out the perspective on this. There's a way to, yeah, do more perspective with it, right? Okay. Just gotta kinda... Oof. It is tough not being able to see the other parts more. Hang on, I got an idea. Wait, can I choose? Ooh, wait, hang on, hang on, hang on. This is gonna be funny. Wait. Can I literally just disappear everything else? Oh. Yes. Oh, would you look at that? That is beautiful. I should probably turn and ramp down the perspective just a tiny, tiny bit. But damn, this does not look good. Okay, maybe like this. Then like this, and then bring it back. Then move it more towards the camera. It's so annoying when you have to do this because I feel like you see so little of the action. I feel like I am in a submarine trying to like bark orders to the dude with the torpedoes. In an ironic turn of events from earlier, I think my issue now is that the handlebars aren't chunky enough. This, I think, is my karmic retribution for making fun of those really chunky 90-degree angle handlebars from earlier. Okay. Nope. That's not working. I feel like the issue here now is that I feel like if you were on this kind of sloped plane, it would be a little bit terrifying to not to have to worry about like having to slide off of the inclined ramp with your butt. You know what I mean? Like you would be hanging on to the top here for dear life because otherwise you'd go like, and then I guess you would fall to your death. It is so much cooler of a pose, though. The more like we. Falling off a 55-meter robot is not a we kind of situation, unfortunately. Alright, let's take a look at a couple of these. What the fuck? Hang on. What the fuck? Hang on. Did I accidentally not download 3D models? No, these should be models, though. These are probably in some kind of pack or something. Hang on. Image created for LT conversion. Confirmation of the material to be added to the motorcycle. Oh, you son of a bitch. Wait, so these are just image materials. These aren't actual... Are you fucking serious? Oh my god. So get this. Those other two that I downloaded were from the beginning image materials. They were not 3D models. I think they were like supposed to advertise 3D models that the creator made. Oh, I feel like I've just been catfished. Holy fuck, that is devious. Why? Why, baby? Why? Well, the good news is we got a pretty strong contender here to begin with, so that's, you know, it's minimal harm, minimal foul. Okay, I need to reset this. Is there a way for me to adjust where this middle pip is? No? No, nothing doing? They literally got you with a Wile E. Coyote bit. I am sickened. They fucking roadrunnered my ass. With their devious image-based lick, and they probably got some clippy out of that shit too. God damn it. I've been So we need to get like the fucking Better Business Bureau on this shit or something. I am scandalized by the deception, the cheek. We gotta get me compensation or something. Okay, we need to turn this like so. Okay. Ooh, I like how chunky this one looks. I think we're very close to getting it. I do feel like I'm maybe scooping water into a bucket made of sand, though, because it feels like we're just going kind of taking 2 steps forwards and 2 steps back. Okay, and then over here. I need more. Oh my god! Look at how, look at how far away the fucking precision. We need to. Do we want to reset this? No. Okay. Perspective. It is fucking killing me with this shit. They are attempting to slay my ass. There has been an attempt on my life. Oh, thank God, Latin music came on. Give me strength. Give me strength, compatriota. Okay. So close. I can taste how close we are. I can feel it in my bones. I'm so close to winning. I can feel it. I'm going to hit the jackpot $1 trillion. $1 William. The riches of your wildest dreams. Honestly, I think that works. Hang on. Okay, we might need to move V and the parasol up a little bit, but besides... Hang on. Besides that... No. We'd have to either shrink her or... Maybe a little bit of both, actually. Hang on. Okay, before we do that, hang on. Let's save these two as a separate layer, just in case. And now we'll mess with this. Okay, and now we're going to rasterize this. Or actually, wait, hang on, I've got a better idea. Where's that? Okay, there is convert layer to lines and materials. Okay, here we go. Okay, we do not need the fill, but that's fine. We can just turn it off later. Emphasize outline, maybe less. Accuracy of detection, bump that up. Line width, don't worry about that. Smooth, maybe less. Yeah, no, this isn't working. Forget about that. What we could do, hang on. Yeah, what we could do is rasterize this. Increase the contrast, and then... use that to convert brightness to opacity, and then lower the opacity of this. And then what we can do is we can just erase these errant cables, which would be on the inside of the skull. And we would just leave behind this part here. Very specifically, we want this line up top here. Yes. Yes! Okay. I think I have an idea for how I want to handle this. We can get rid of this top part, though. Okay. I feel like I am expanding my brain in a couple of ways here. I feel like I genuinely feel like I am becoming smarter by doing this. It's a bizarre feeling. I haven't felt it in a while. There's something about using clips, even though it does save you time in the end, because you don't need to spend like 15 hours worrying about like, oh, am I doing this part right? Am I doing this thing wrong? Or anything like that. You don't need to worry about any of that old bullshit. You just need to have faith in the 3D model and your own sense of perspective and posing and scaling, which I have no issue doing. Tuning into your next stream and your head is double the size. Yeah. This is why it's a dangerous thing to inflate my ego. Big-headed Pabs is a force to be reckoned with. That one spring where I started working out at the library, that should have been like a terrifying civilization-ending event. Multiple governments were notified. More rice. That's right. Better recognize. Recognize. No, that one doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well. Okay. And we can have the V over here. Oh yeah, we don't need V's reference up here for the moment. We will need Viking, though. Okay, and then over here. Yeah, then we're gonna have the windshield up here. We can also bring back a little bit of the white helmet part here, because I think that'll be a better way to emphasize. Hang on. The whatchamacallit, the fucking vent part here. I always feel like calling it like the gills. I don't know, they feel very guild-like, even though I know they're supposed to be vents. Never thought of them like that? I guess gills are normally located more along the neck than anything else. Oh, here we go. I was looking for the liquefy tool. Okay, then over here. Okay. Then over here. I've always been somewhat fascinated by gills, just as a biological component. Like, they must feel super weird to have, or I guess not if you are supposed to have them. I don't know, with all the different kind of body modification aficionados that exist out there, I am surprised that nobody's ever tried to make like a functional set of gills. Or rather that nobody succeeded. I'm sure more people than I could possibly think of have tried to make gills. For humans, I mean. It'd be rather silly to make them for a different animal. I feel like if we gave dogs skills, they would learn to... I don't know what dogs would do with gills. I feel a little bit nervous about the idea of giving dogs gills, if I'm being fully honest. I'm apprehensive about the concept, about the idea. Okay, then that's gonna curve around here. Looking forward to new innovations in doggy paddling? That would be true. I feel like doggy paddling... I feel like dogs might get filtered by the fact that they can't learn how to 3D navigate doggy paddling. Like, it's very hard to dive if you're just doggy paddling. Right? I do know that dogs can dive. Dogs can definitely dive, but I haven't... I don't know. I don't know if a lot of them are built like that. You definitely need to install gills on like a dog that's already water friendly, like a lab or something. Okay, then over here. Should moose get gills? We should absolutely never give moose anything to give them anything else than what they already have as natural advantages. Are you fucking kidding me? If we give moose gills, like they are going to show up in like the Iberian seas, fucking terrorizing the Portuguese. All right, we are going to fuck up big time if we give moose gills. They probably deserve them. We absolutely shouldn't give it to them. If God had meant to give, like, okay, let's not go there because I feel like bringing intelligent design into this conversation is a bad idea. But I'm just saying, I think that there's a very good reason probably why meese didn't get gills. Maybe the Portuguese should be a little bit terrorized. They have been getting a little bit cocky lately. I don't know. Maybe you're onto something with that. They have been getting a little bit full of themselves. Might be good to knock them down a peg or two. I don't know though. I feel like that idea could really backfire though, because like, what if the meese just come back? Like, what if they get bored and don't end up traveling the Atlantic and instead just fucking U-turn back onto Canada? Then we'd be fucked. Well, no, the coastal provinces would be fucked, but let's be honest, they've got enough shit going on as is. I don't know. I guess we could try to send them south to, like, New York or something. I feel like that would be a better use of our resources. I don't know. Okay, here's what we should do. Here's my solution to maybe perhaps advocate for peace. We teach the moose... Okay, we not only if we're already in the realm of genetically modifying meese like some fucking Resident Evil abomination, I say we give them the gills, but in exchange, they now need to eat plastic in order to maintain their power level. The meese can now digest and turn plastic into sugars to power themselves. That way, we take out two birds with one stone. Either the meese reach their intended destination and they end up fucking over the Portuguese. Everybody's happy. Or they don't, and we've just essentially sent them out to like the Pacific garbage patch, and now we just have like a Bermuda Triangle ring style of meese just fucking tearing shit up in the Atlantic. But, you know, the microplastic counts will be in shamble. in shambles. Me when the moose eats my gunpla. Listen, we all gotta make sacrifices for a better world. Nobody said this eco-terrorism shit would be easy. That I wouldn't have casualties. Okay, let me double check something that I need to... Jay recently gave me a reference for how the... whatchamacallit, the Vikings jetpack kind of goes on. So I'm going to be using that. But first... let's... hang on. Okay. Wait, huh? Wait, huh? Wait, what have I been okay, no, I'm fine. Okay, cool. I got very temporarily lost in my layers. I didn't know where the hell I was. Oh yeah, I guess I might as well do the same thing to the parasol. Okay. Well, no, let's leave the parasol for later and finish up what we were doing with the Vikings background first. Honestly, I am kind of tickled by the idea of a moose just suddenly barging into somebody's home and eating their high grade RX-78 because you know the big dog's gotta eat. Okay. Jetpack kind of has one part here. Okay. Okay. The perspective on these seem wrong, and I should also be doing this on a separate layer. Yeah, I guess it would be sinking even further down, lower over here. Actually, maybe further down on the back, too. Okay. And then a little bit of the wing would kind of peek out over here. Also, I think I can't help but feel like these are supposed to be circular. So let's try and do that. I hate it when I lose track of where my own dang pencil is. Like, I feel like I should be able to see it see it on my screen at all times. That's happened more and more recently, and I'm beginning to get a little bit worried by my habit. Okay, then over here. My brain is huge and I am awesome. My brain is huge and I am awesome. My brain is huge and I am awesome. And that's slightly off center, but we can fix that. Circular shapes are one of the damnedest things when you draw. No matter how hard you try, it never quite congrues. Very vexing shit to happen to you. Okay. Okay, and I feel like this needs to be almost wider. As ridiculous as that might sound. Maybe I just need to... Oh, wait, hang on. Wait, I've got an idea. Okay, and then over here... And we can add... Yeah, no, I think having this bottom one is also fitting. Okay, and then we'll also have... You know, the back part of the wing... And the back part of the jetpack ends around here, so that should start to go down. And from there on, it uses the wing, so that should start going up. And also, I think the shoulder's off, because it would have to have the angle start from around here. Why... Where am I? Oh, here I am. Okay. Okay. I think that's making sense so far. I'm not sure if I should make V a little bit bigger, but pose her closer to the edge of the whole thing. I feel like it could work. I just need to angle the... Hang on. I might just need to angle the arm over here a little bit lower. Honestly, that works. Can I get away with making her just a tiny bit bigger? No, okay, I think this is the threshold. I think maybe even making her a little bit smaller might be good. Okay. And let's do a quick flip check. Okay, the jetpack's still giving me trouble, but that's fine. I can live with that. Hmm. I think her nose needs to be pointed at a slightly different angle. Other than that, the proportions of the eyes and everything look good, I think. Although I am kind of wondering what's going on with the shirt here now that I've adjusted some of the parts. I see. Okay, nice. We need to do something about the inside of this part. It's a little distracting. Okay, and then over here. I was tempted to give the motorcycle handlebar like a texture, but I think that might not be advisable, given the state of everything. Okay. Phew! Alright. I think that's going to be good for progress for today. I think that is solid progress. I think the biggest part of this is definitely going to be rendering and coloring, because I do... Again, I have to remind myself of the scope of this, right? Because I really want to try to at least kind of replicate the shading style they've got going here. Because look at it, it's so lovely! It's such a nice style! But I know my limits. I'll have to think about it hard to figure out what I need to do. I might just have to I might just have to be able to say, okay, I'll finish the colors for this before I leave, and then finish rendering once I get back. It'll be in early December, but, you know, at least it'll be done. I'll give it my best shot in any regard. I'm not going to let this be something that kind of stresses me out. I'm going to try and continue having as much fun with this as possible. Because I think that's how you're going to produce the best piece. Okay. But yeah, that should be it for today. We will be heading out. Is anybody streaming right now? Vid. Oh, somebody's drawing Sonic characters. Let's go say hi to that. Let's go say hi to her. It's gonna look great no matter what, because your effort will shine no matter which way you go. Thanks for the art and for the stream. Thank you very much. That means a lot to me. Right. Okay. But yeah, somebody is drawing Sonic characters, so let's go say hi to her. Take care, everyone. See you on Thursday. Talk to you later. Bye.